What impact do you think cryptocurrencies are going to have on the collectible coins and banknote market? Let's discuss. So it may come as no surprise whatsoever to you that given my demographic, I have some exposure to the world of cryptocurrencies. This is a subject that has come up time and time again in conversation with a number of my clients and friends in the collecting community, and some people are actually quite concerned about the potential impacts that may or may not occur as a result of the increased implementation and developments of various cryptocurrencies. So I'll begin by stating my personal opinion. All of this entire video is purely my opinion. I will make some speculations and things like that, but none of this should be interpreted as financial advice, and it is purely for entertainment and enjoyment. And I hope you have a good time watching it, because it's got to be about 30 degrees outside, probably 40 degrees in my office. So I hope you appreciate I've had to, strip down to the t-shirt for this one, but here we go. So it may come as no surprise to a lot of people that cryptocurrencies has generated a great deal of return on investment for a number of people, and people are now looking, people who exist already in the coins and collectibles area are now wondering what sort of, if any, impacts that may have on the market. Now, personally, I believe that it is a totally separate and at this stage unrelated area. I view it sort of in the same way I view something like the share market or the stock market. A lot of the cryptocurrencies that exist are looking to build platforms on which people will do their daily transactions. At this point in time, I haven't seen any that have proven that they are entirely usable, and I think we're still in a very early stage in the crypto world. So in time, I would not be surprised if in years to come we see some of the front runners of the industry begin to integrate more into society. So you'll see banks and things like that adopting the technology, and I think it's really, really interesting, but I can't see it being something that, as a collector, I think a lot of people wonder if we reach a point with the development of things like CBDCs and cryptos start to integrate more into society as a medium of exchange, that we will see a reduction in the need for physical currency to a point where perhaps the Royal Australian Mint would no longer produce physical currency. And people have speculated that that would cause the end of collecting as we know it. No one would be interested in collecting physical currency, and it would become purely a digital marketplace. I should also preface this with being an up and coming coin dealer. My opinions are heavily biased, but I also think that I have the ability to take an objective look at the market and see that we already have things like NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which are traded regularly on a variety of networks. I won't get too bogged down in the detail because this isn't my forte, but there are a number of marketplaces where the fees alone to transfer your items are exceptionally high. There was a point, I'll give you a brief anecdote. There was a point when I was involved in that market and I had to transfer some funds from one wallet into an exchange, and it cost me 150 Australian dollars to move from point A to point B. So I think there's a long way to go in that area, and there are a number of companies that are coming up with some great solutions, but specifically in terms of getting back to the collector's market and physical coins, which is what we're all about here, I do see the potential for an integration of the two worlds. I think with things like NFTs, I think in the long run, it's entirely possible that it could integrate almost seamlessly into the collector's market, because we already have things like services such as PCGS, who are encapsulating your coin and attributing a number to it, a serial number, which allows you to look it up and verify the credentials of the coin on their website and in their database. What that also allows you to do is have a digital representation of your collection. So in that sense, you can have a harmonious coexistence of a physical collection and a digital collection. And I think that that's the type of thing that we will see more of, but that's not to say that it's a mandatory transition. There are so many collectors that have no interest whatsoever in all the technological side of things, and they purely want, and to a large degree, I would consider myself in that camp as well. I just want the physical coin and I want to enjoy it, and that's why I'm collecting, and that's what I love about it. But that's not to say that there can't be a place for these technological developments. One example that I think we may see in the future, perhaps in the not too distant future, is NFT integration to certificates of authenticity. So that is to say, you could have a QR code or something like that generates an NFT for your crypto wallet, and then you can have a digital version of your coin in addition to the physical one. It's something that it could get a little murky in terms of if and when you were to trade or sell that coin, what then happens to the ownership of the NFT version of that particular coin. It's not something that I've thought too deeply about in terms of how it would all be administered and things like that, but I do believe it's something that we will see begin to be implemented, particularly if we see larger dealers and things like that start to get on board with the technology. But as far as I can tell, and as far as I'm concerned, it is truly not something that I'm worried about. I don't think the evolution of currency is going to be something that deters people from the wonderful, wonderful hobby of collecting. So I would also speculate, we're just talking shop here a little. I think that we'll see more and more people look to collecting physical coins and banknotes and things like that if we were to ever reach a point, or I guess I should probably say when we reach a point, when there is no longer physical circulating currency being used in our daily transactions. I think that then would make them a bit more of an artifact. It would allow people to have a physical connection to a previous time in human history. So much in the way that I get really passionate about ancient coin collecting because I feel it provides a physical link to a different time of human history. The same would apply to the current circulating coins. You're not necessarily having to go back thousands of years to have that connection, but if we were no longer using 5-cent coins or 50-cent coins a few years from now, I think that's something that people would really gravitate towards as something to not only have as a souvenir of a different time, it's something that you would also, I imagine, people would like to share with their kids down the line. So it's something that I think will coexist with the great hobby of collecting, but I personally, just my opinion, I don't think the development of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, all that sort of thing, I can't see that being detrimental. I can't even see it harming the hobby. You'll have people that get on board, and then there will be plenty of people that don't have any interest whatsoever in it, which is totally fine. I think ultimately, with a lot of these things, the market makes those decisions. So that is to say, people might love it, and there might be a group of people that get on board with it, and there's a thriving community of people that have an interest in the crossover between physical coins and banknotes and things like that, and the NFT counterpart. But I think there will also be plenty of people that have no interest whatsoever and just want to, if you're anything like me, I love, one of the things I love about collecting is that it's very relaxing. I like sorting through my pennies and things like that. I find that very relaxing. Organizing an album. I think I would struggle to get that same sort of connection and enjoyment from a digital product or a digital equivalent, but I would love to know your thoughts. I think this is a really interesting subject, and there are plenty of people that know a lot more than I do about what the landscape might look like in terms of the technological developments, but this is just one guy's opinion. I appreciate you sticking with it. Through all the heat, it's a particularly hot day today. But I would love to know your opinions. Are you concerned about the future of collecting in relation to the development of cryptocurrencies, or if you're like me, do you separate the two and enjoy them for completely different reasons? I think it's a really interesting subject. I'd love to know your opinions. Let me know in the comments. And thank you very much for watching. It's a bit of a strange video. It's a little out of the ordinary, but let me know if you like this kind of thing. And we'll speak next time. Thanks a lot.